Welcome to another Monday. Hiking in the evening with some friends. This is beautiful, overlooking the ocean at sunset. You ever feel like you're doing everything right? Saving, investing, adulting, and then your account still looks like it's been mugged in a dark alley. Yeah, that's the MER effect. MER stands for Management Expense Ratio. Sounds harmless, like some technical footnote nobody reads. That's what it is. But this boring little acronym is the financial version of death by a thousand cuts. It's a sneaky fee that mutual funds and some ETFs charge you every single year just for the privilege of holding your money. And you probably didn't even notice it because they don't take it out in a big, obvious chunk. They just silently siphon off a percentage every single year forever. It's like someone took a little sip of your beer when your back was turned and you barely noticed. So, what is it exactly? An MER is the percentage of your investment that goes to the people managing the fund. So, if your fund has an MER of 2% and you've got $100,000 in it, you're paying $2,000 a year just in fees. And here's the part that will really make your butthole tighten. That $2,000 isn't a flat rate. As your money grows, so does the fee, because it's a percentage. So, the better your investments do, the more money they take. Congratulations, you're being punished for success. Now you might be thinking, but that's fine, they're managing my money, right? Maybe they're doing something genius behind the scenes. Nope. Most actively managed funds, the ones with high MERs, don't even beat the market, like consistently. Study after study has shown that most of these fancy pants fund managers underperform basic boring index funds. So you're paying a premium for a worse result. It's like tipping your waiter extra for spitting in your food. Let's break it down with real numbers. Say you invest $100,000 at 7% annual return. Let's compare two scenarios, one with a low MER of 0.1%, like a good index fund, and one with a typical mutual fund MER of 2%. Over 30 years, that low MER of 0.1%, you end up with $728,000. The high MER at 2%, you end up with $574,000. That's $154,000 gone. Not to taxes, not to market crashes, just to fees. That's a house deposit. That's years of retirement. That's your dreams funding some financial advisor's third boat. And again, you don't even see it happening. It's already baked into the fund's performance. It's like someone eating a slice of your pizza before it even hits the table and you just think, oh, I guess this is just a small pizza. Now look, not all MERs are evil. Some ETFs have low MERs and still offer diversification and value. Vanguard, iShares, etc. They've got your back. But mutual funds, traditional banks, they are fee farms. They exist to milk you slowly while smiling in a suit. And guess where most of these mutual funds get sold? Your bank. You walk in trying to do something smart with your money, and Karen from RBC is like, let's get into our balanced growth fund. And the next thing you know, you're in a closet full of fees with no pants on and no exit. They don't tell you about the 2% MER. They just say low risk, steady growth. And you, being a normal human who doesn't have time to research the scrap, just go, sure. This is how they do it. They rely on your lack of financial education and your trust in institutions. And if that sounds familiar, it's because that's the business model of every con artist ever. And let's talk about these salespeople at the bank. Because yes, they're salespeople, not financial advisors. Even though they sit at a desk and wear a name tag, most of them aren't licensed to give personal investment advice, and they don't have deep knowledge of the products they're recommending. So what do they know? Most of them are working off scripts, product sheets, and internal training modules. The funds they push, usually proprietary mutual funds with high MERs, are pre-approved by the bank. They're trained to pitch these based on risk tolerance questionnaires and vague goals like retirement or growth, but they're not doing any deep analysis or comparison with what's actually best for you. Their job is to funnel you into the stuff the bank makes the most money from. What if you ask about ETFs or index funds? Prepare for blank stares or nervous fidgeting or the classic, well, we don't offer those here, but this balanced mutual fund is similar. Or they'd be like, well, this is what I invest my money in. In truth, many bank reps don't really understand ETFs or index investing. Some may have heard of them, but they'll often say things, ETFs are riskier, or index funds don't offer the same level of active management, which sounds reassuring, but is complete nonsense. They literally can't sell you most low-cost ETFs or index funds, even if they want to, because banks make their money off the fees baked into their own products. There's also pressure. Some reps are given sales quotas. They might get bonuses or commissions for signing you up to certain products. That doesn't make them evil, it just makes the system stacked against you. Try it. Go to the bank and ask them. I was in the bank one time and had a few mutual funds for a few years when I didn't know any better, but I was liquidating those to get some ETFs with more efficient MERs, and the bank person was trying to sell me other products. She was surprised that I even knew what an MER was. Turns out most people they sell to don't even know about MERs. I had my research done, also had looked up other mutual funds with other banks, and they didn't have a product that offered lower rates, so I pulled my money. It was interesting as I got the impression that it doesn't happen too often, so most people trust the person they are talking to in the bank. I found out that not all, but a lot of these people working in the banks also trust the products with their own money, as they haven't been given the education on other products out there with lower fees. So to sum up, when you go to the bank for investment advice, you're not meeting with a financial guru. You meet with someone trained to sell the bank's products, often with any duty to act in your best interest. If you bring up index funds or ETFs, you're going off script, and chances are they'll either redirect you or discourage you from pursuing them. Not because they're bad options, but because they don't benefit the bank. If you want performance, go low MER. If you want disappointment and confusion, go to the bank. So what do you do instead? Look for low-fee index funds or ETFs. MER is under 0.25%. Bonus points for 0.1% or less. Set it, forget it. Let compound interest do its thing and don't get robbed along the way. Even better, if you're using a robo-advisor like Wealthsimple, check their fee structure too. They often charge about 0.3 to 0.5% on top of the fund MERs. That can still be worth it if you want hands-off investing, but know what you're paying because these are also extra hidden fees. And I've heard so many friends say, oh, it's low, it's only 0.5%, but they haven't done the real calculations that this will later be hundreds of thousands of dollars. The bottom line, MERs matter. It's not just 2%. It's not a rounded error. Over time, that 2% is the difference between working until you're 70 or quitting your job and living off investments while drinking pina coladas in a hammock somewhere. So yeah, banks aren't just holding your money, they're quietly pickpocketing you every single year. But now you know, so maybe don't let them. You want to hear more about this and how to invest in these funds and what to do and how to come on a beautiful sunset hike on a Monday afternoon? Well, subscribe. You know you want to. Just hit that button.